Hello and welcome everybody to our YouTube series on free agency. Each episode will look into the dealings within a single division, and if you like our content, please hit the like and subscribe button. It is free after all. And without further ado, we are going to head into the division of question. East. Well, the Cowboys are always going to Cowboy, but we need to talk about them first of all because what on earth are they doing this off-season? Firstly, they keep their head coach against all odds.
Yeah.
Against all odds. Everyone expected him to be fired.
Everyone was expecting him to go, but if you look at what he was able to do, like offensively, he had an explosive offense, and that's his side of the ball. He delivered as far as, like, I don't like Mike McCarthy. I'm not a fan. But he did what he was meant to do. So I can understand why.
Wait. Let's continue. That's part one. They had kept their head coach, right? So that's already a
you actually
back,
giving him
right?
sympathy.
I can't believe it. I don't know what's happening with Will right now. It's confusing the hell out of me, right? But anyway, so that was the pretext, right? Going into free agency, they kept their head coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they had a drain of player talent.
Yeah.
There is a running back, Tony Pollard, to the Titans. Michael Gallup's no longer there. Tyron Smith's gone to the Jets. Biedash has gone to the Commanders. Dorrance Armstrong gone to the Commanders. Dante Fowler's gone to the Commanders. Jonathan Hankins has gone to the Seahawks. Leighton Van Der Esch has retired. Gilmore's not there. Jaron Kearse is not there. Who's left?
Yeah, we don't know what they're going to do. I mean, Jerry Jones likes his guys, so usually he goes through the draft, and once he chooses to draft someone, he's a part of that. They're a part of that Cowboys family going forward. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things. Yeah, that's usually like in the first round, but even then, that's not enough. Like I don't understand what they're trying to do. Are they trying to do like a soft reset in disguise?
But
like
you look at who they have signed, right? They have signed two players. Eric Kendricks, Jordan Lewis. The other two players are re-signs. Rico Dowdle and Trent Sieg, long snapper. What is going on? They're completely, like, Cowboys fans are up in arms. They're like, what on earth is going on? They can't draft everybody. You've had all that talent disappear. You can't going to draft. How many positions are you going to draft in this draft, right?
It sort of seems like self-sabotage a little bit, because I don't see how. I mean, if they're looking to make the playoffs, yeah, that's maybe doable. But they're not going to win anything. Like, they're not going the distance. They're going to have to hit home on near enough every round in the draft. Every one of every one of those players has to be on starting rotation. I don't think that's going to happen. It's up in the air right now with Dak, like Rico Dowdle.
So have you heard about the conversations about Dak as well, that they're willing to let their contract completely run out and have him test free agency next year?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean,
when is the contract up?
End of the year, I believe.
End of the year. I think it's ran its course over there. Like, don't get me wrong, it's hard to find a QB in the NFL. I think Dak has kind of taken his team as far as it can go. Like, the unit is like CeeDee Lamb needs someone opposite him that's able. Like, when you have someone opposite you, he can perform better. If he's the only guy there, I'm sorry, man. Like,
bro, are you talking about all pro? Wait, are you talking about all pro CeeDee Lamb? He doesn't need anybody. He does.
No.
Yeah, but in terms of a team, you need somebody.
In terms of a team, like
you
need someone on the other side of the field, like an X and Y on the other side of the field. That's at least going to.
Well, they still got Michael Gallup.
No, Gallup's gone.
He's gone. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, who's the person opposite? So CeeDee Lamb is going to go against triple coverage. Don't get me wrong, he's a great receiver, but he's going to see that kind of press coverage the whole season.
At the moment, it's Brandon Cooks on the other side.
Yeah, but Brandon Cooks,
he doesn't have the level of production, right?
He's got speed, but he's just not the player he used to be, or they're not using him the right way.
Well, the thing is, that's true. I have a theory here, and I think it alludes to one of the things that you said, Bull. I think Jerry's just thinking that to reset the whole thing, and I think it's also because they really don't. They didn't have the cap room to sign anybody. I mean, I'm looking at their cap. They have $5 million in cap space. There's nothing you can do about that.
They've lost all this talent, and they've got nothing to be. They've only got enough cap space to be able to sign the rookie class.
To sign their rookie class, and that's it. And the thing is, they don't have the ways, man. If they had the ways, it wouldn't be a problem. Saints have the ways, so they don't have the ways, so that's why it's a problem there. But I think what the plan is that they're gonna try and add talent through the draft, and I think based on their free agency, the Dallas Cowboys,
or the lack of free agency,
soft reset, man.
Well, lack of it. Like I agree with what about the soft reset part, but I think what they're planning to do. Don't be surprised if they trade back to pick up extra picks in this draft. Just because they haven't added in free agency, they need to add in a lot of depth guys. They still have some of their core pieces, but the core pieces is not enough to build a team. So I think they are a candidate to trade back from the first round and look to
accumulate some picks because quantity. they need quantity. Definitely,
This tells me that they're not looking to go. They're not expecting to go far, which also means Mike McCarthy might be aware of this, which means even if they underperform this season, which they probably will.
But then he's just going to be used as a scapegoat and it's gone. Or he's used as a scapegoat and it's gone.
He'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back. I'm sure Jerry has sort of let him know that, I'm not signing anyone. You're not going to have any weapons. Michael Gallup is gone. We're not going to do well this season, but we're going to rebuild through it. Dak's probably not going to be here, but I want you around to pick our next guy heading forward. You show that offensively you're an aficionado. Like you can run this offense well, and that's what I want. I want a high-flying Dallas Cowboy offense. And then we're just going to rebuild. Like it's kind of like a soft reboot. Just don't make it obvious. How do you stay competitive? Even the Giants made moves, man. Like, what are you going to do?
We'll get to the Giants in a bit, but first of all, we've got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, they made the biggest splash in terms of name in the entire free agency. It set the tone for the entire league.
Yeah.
Them acquiring Saquon himself.
Yep.
On a 3-year, $37.5 million contract with $25.5 million fully guaranteed at signing. And then
what's the average per year?
That year averages to about 15, 16.
15. Yeah, that's nearly wide receiver money. So
no, not 15. 13, 12, 13.
Okay, yeah. So that's about. I mean, LeGarrette Blount was getting this in 1-year deals when he was going rogue. But all I'm saying is that my Eagles kind of outside of what the Steelers got and the magnitude of the two players they acquired for nothing, I think my Eagles did really good this offseason in terms of like acquiring players. If you look at like the QB room, we got Kenny Pickett with a trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Howie Roseman is going all in. I think he's putting the league on notice that we're actually trying to compete. We're trying to win it all.
Well, it was a funk at the end of last season, right? It was a funk at the end of last year's season. So,
absolutely. And we think that's a coaching issue. Sirianni is 100% on the hot seat because if we underperform this season, he's definitely gone. He didn't show up to the all coaches group for photo, so everyone's saying that it's kind of like foreboding. You know, it's already written like he's cursed himself, he's cursed his team. I hope that's not the case. But if we look at what we've acquired, Kenny Pickett, serviceable. I mean, is he happy being a backup? I think this is kind of like
he's going to be the backup. So it's going to be the backup here nor there, right? But
he's looking to learn. But I think this is almost like a reset for him to sort of be around a championship or a good team, become a better QB. And I think like how he understands with the type of offense that we run, if Jalen does get hurt or has to miss a few games, you've got someone that's competent. Because the last thing you want is to have your number 2 come out, a la what happened with the Bengals, and your whole season goes belly side up. Like there's no point. Like everyone is like, yeah, well, we're done now. Kenny Pickett at least gives us a chance to keep us afloat. Saquon Barkley, though, is the marquee signing over here. He, like, especially to a 3-year deal, like, this is definitely not Howie, and I think Howie obviously has a lot of respect for Saquon and feels as though this is a generational back with a running style that will open up our offense. So it's going to be really good to see. Wide receivers, like, I think he kind of went a bit too much, like with Devontae
No,
Parker
because
and
they're,
Paris. Paris is
they're
good,
on
but
1 year deal.
Devontae,
Paris is good.
I understand it's a 1-year deal, but I'm kind of like, I would have preferred to keep Quez Watkins. I think he's gone to, is it Jacksonville? The Steelers.
The Steelers.
Yeah, I would prefer to keep Quez Watkins because he was an in-house product. He was a part of the family, so I'd prefer that. But, I'm not complaining. These are good guys. I mean, there's definitely not enough space for all of them to eat. Like, one of them's going to be disgruntled. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys moves teams mid-season, because between AJ, Devontae, you've then got also Dallas Goedert, our running backs that can also receive balls as well. With
although
Saquon
you've
Barkley,
lost all three, you've lost Boston Scott, you've lost Rashard.
Boston Scott.
He's gone.
But
Rashard Penny's gone, and obviously Swift went to the Bears. So
either way, Paris or Devontae, one of them is going to be disgruntled because there's not enough balls for that around. There's not enough receptions around that everyone can eat. Like, one of those guys is going to be disgruntled. So I wouldn't be surprised if we mid-season maybe we move one of these guys out and see what we can get for him. Landon Dickerson, I'm really glad we signed him. He can play outside of left tackle. You can pretty much move him around, and that's the hallmark of our offensive line.
He's a god.
I know.
He can't play tackle.
I know. All I am saying is that our offensive line, the way we're set up, is outside of left tackle. People can move around if they have to. So if we get people injured, we can have people.
Maybe thinking about center because he can place.
He knows.
So the thing so
he's not a center by design. That's not going to be his role. But
he actually played center in college.
Yeah, he's prepared for it. Like, the inside of our offensive line, we can move people around. And that's the main thing. Like, we have that kind of depth. I'm just looking at all the other signings. Bryce up. Oh, Chauncey Gardner. So
that's a big one. Obviously, the back end of the defense.
That's huge.
I'm surprised he didn't talk about that one first since he's been the whole year.
Hey, Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
Hey, viewers, this is an exclusive. Will cried for the whole year when Chauncey went to Detroit. Oh, we don't have Chauncey. Oh, defense is struggling. We don't have Chauncey.
I'm telling you.
Oh, you're so excited. You must be excited to have him back.
He's 100% worth it because look, he's every team every defense he's on, he's gold dust. You see what the Saints were while he was there and when he left.
Okay, questions.
You saw what happened to my Eagles while he was there, when he left. Look at what happened in the year Detroit had with him there. Like, he is the difference maker. I'm telling you.
One last question.
Yep.
Right. The running, the linebacking core was pretty much released.
Yep.
Now, the linebackers that have been signed.
Yep.
4 of them. White. But all in 1-year deals, I believe.
Yep.
Devin White, Julian Okwara, Aaron Burks, Zach Bound. Do you expect the team to dip into the draft with a linebacker?
We will probably dip late. Remember, we drafted 2 Georgia guys last year, Nakobe Dean and
Nakobe Dean and
what's his name? Long, rangy. We had those guys, so we're kind of hoping on them to. Yeah.
Well, wait. The better question, just pick it back of Dilly's question is, when do the chances run out for Nakobe?
Well, he's got to stay on the field. That's the issue. It's not that
he's got to stay healthy. It's not that he's not able to play. Like, he has made plays. It's just he can't stay healthy. He's getting nicked and knocked, and it's really just small injuries that are getting him, and then he has to miss games because of it. That's what's annoying. Obviously, Jordan Davis is fine. They're both going to eat interior, but linebacker wise, he just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And if he does, then he can contribute, because when he has played, he's been really good. He just can't stay healthy. I think who was the other Georgia Bulldog?
Nolan Smith, he's more of
Nolan
an edge.
Smith, yeah, Nolan Smith's more an edge. We're looking for him to take that next step. I'm not sure how they're going to utilize him. We've obviously got Vic Fangio. Obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing how he implements him, because I think the last DC, we saw what happened to our defense down the stretch. I don't think he knew what to do. And it's a shame when you have weapons like that, you have to utilize him. So we're hoping he takes that next step. Devin White's going to shore things up, but we're definitely going to draft a linebacker. We're not going to reach early. We're probably going to take one perhaps in the third round.
How we don't rate linebackers though?
Yeah, I know. Like he won't, but it's a position of need.
It's a position of need because we saw that the issue, particularly in the run defense,
the middle of that defense,
towards the end of last season, right?
People were literally like, "We have no linebackers."
Well.
So once you got past that first level, right?
It was a wrap.
It was free reign.
Yep.
Right.
I wonder if you will this time.
Well, we wonder what they're going to do this time. But I need to move us on to the Washington Commanders. And I think for the first time in a very long time, Washington Commanders fans can be excited.
Yeah.
They have made some very astute business in this offseason. Yep. You look at the players that they have brought in, you look from the offensive side. You look at the offensive line, they brought in Allegretti on a 3-year, $16 million deal. A guard, very good one. Beardash, center, a good center. $330 million. Pardon?
It's an average center.
Better than what they had.
Better than what they had.
Absolutely. The offense was atrocious.
In the sense that offensive, the quarterback that they had behind was a punching bag last year.
Absolutely.
Right? You make incremental gains, and then you manage to get better across the board, right?
Yep.
The marquee signing is the running back, though, is Austin Eckler, right?
Yep. No, I mean, he campaigned. I still think...
On the offensive side.
On the offensive side, you could make an argument for Beardash, Nika greatly because the offensive line was atrocious. So you could make an argument that those were like the marquee. I know the skill positions.
The glitz and the glamour goes with the skill positions as always.
I gotta give love to my big guys, dog. I gotta give love to my big guys.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Do you know what the two things that they've done? They've taken two key players that were big starters from the Cowboys and added to their team. Tyler Beardash, I'm sorry if I didn't mention.
Yeah, it's Beardash. Yeah.
And Dorrance Armstrong. And Dante Fowler. So basically, they just weakened the Cowboys.
But then you look at who else they've added: Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner,
Bobby Wagner, yeah.
Jeremy Chin.
Feel bad not resigned.
Yeah.
What a player! Jeremy Chin is one of the better safeties in the league.
Yep,
and that's hard to find these days.
And then the most important signing of them all is re-signing Efe Abado, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We gotta keep our love for our British guys as well. But
absolutely,
yeah, they've made some really, really good signings. And
Jameson Crowder, my guy Jackets as well.
I really hope it pans out for them, and they have the team set ready to have. Yeah, I mean, a rookie quarterback could do good on this team.
It gives them the right foundation, right? They have the right foundation to go and do something. Previously with the Commanders, how long has it been since they've had anything to look forward to?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I mean, they haven't had anything to look forward to since the name change, really. So this is it's looking on the up and up, and I think at this moment in time, depending on their draft additions, they are right there. I would say probably with the Cowboys, based on the losses the Cowboys have taken. Talent level wise, they are on par with the Cowboys right now.
And that's saying a lot when you look at they don't have a quarterback at the moment.
Yeah,
in terms of
apart from the quarterback.
Apart from the quarterback position, but we know that they're going to be addressing that in the draft. that is going to happen.
Yes.
So
100%.
we will have a look at the draft when it comes around. Now we'll talk about the New York Football Giants, and they acquired a player in Brian Burns in a trade with the Panthers. Now, what do you guys think of this trade, and how do you think this will affect the Giants themselves?
Yeah, no, I think Brian Burns is a good acquisition for the Giants. He's a really good player. And I think if you look at the offensive weapons in that division, you kind of need someone that can set the edge and put pressure and play the run on the way to the quarterback. But that being said, Brian Burns was definitely waved around as like, I know we let Saquon Barkley go, but we got Brian Burns. Last time I checked, Brian Burns isn't going to score points for you. He can be the difference maker in a close game, but all in order to win games in the NFL, you have to score points. And don't get me wrong, I've been on the New York Giants Reddit and I've seen them saying, hey, we're really happy with this. This is a really good move. I'll take that. I'm like, we'll see how you take that when you can't move the ball offensively.
Singletary
not the answer.
Whilst Devin Singletary is not Saquon, we saw how well he ran last year for the Texans. He ran very well. Very well.
Yep.
In a team that was expected not to run the ball well.
Yep. And I think...
Now, some of that is due to the coaching, but some of that was due to his running as well.
His running ability, yep. And also, when you have a real QB back there, defenses have to be honest. They've got to play you honest. Play action is going to work a lot better, and it's going to open up running lanes. People are going to tee up. Like, people know that Devin... Wow. I'm not hating on Devin, and I'm not rubbing it in on the Giants. All I'm saying is that I think he's going to be a good back.
It's the lack of love for Danny Dimes, isn't it?
Wait to give props to Danny Dimes, right? Wait to give him some props right now. You've done an amazing job.
But we look at the other signings that they've made. 2 tackles, Nelson and Illuminor, and 2 guards in John Runyon and Stinney. The trenches, again, were a problem for the Giants.
It was.
This is the third stab at them trying to make it right, though?
Yeah, but when you look at the O-line signings they made, only John Ryan is actually a very good... Yeah, the rest are more like depth guys for injuries, and they're like Jags, just a guy. Apart from Ryan.
If you look at who they have lost in this offseason, obviously they've lost Barkley, they've lost Breeder, they've lost Campbell, they've lost Sterling Shepard, Justin Pugh, Adoree Jackson, McKinney, Sean Robinson. So they've lost a few players, but whether they were comfortable with letting those players go and then addressing those positions in the draft is probably the likely course of action for them.
The Xavier McKinney loss probably will prove to be a big one for them because he was a very good defender for them.